Hello everyone, it's Davide here and welcome back to Learning Finance. In today's video guys, I want to talk together with you about the Alibaba stock situation, JD, and actually why I momentarily sold my entire Chinese holdings. Okay, so Alibaba stock and JD.com. Now I want to tell you the three main points at the beginning of this video because I see that lots of people tend to write comments based only on the title and without watching the full video. So is my long-term view changed on Alibaba stock and JD? No. Why am I selling? Why I sold those companies? For tax purposes. Am I planning to jump back in? Yes, I momentarily sold those companies. So I want to share with you why I did that, what has been my thought process, and actually talk to you together about what the hell is going on with this Chinese bloodbath that we are continuing to see day after day after day. So, well, the only thing I ask you guys as always is please leave me another like. It's very important and I thank you for it. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new updates. Let's begin. Alright guys, so especially the last week has been dramatic for Chinese stocks, Alibaba stock, JD, Baidu, all of them. Today actually we see that for the first time Alibaba dropped below the pandemic lows that they did in March over there, 170. Between yesterday and today actually I sold my entire position. As well as in JD. Now, obviously, the breaking below those levels has been another key reason why I sold, because all of that added up together, it made sense. I'm going to explain you just why. Now, first of all, this reason is that because if I sold near this huge support which has been broken, now it becomes a very strong resistance. So I told you that it's momentarily. I'm looking forward to jump back in. So by being more conservative, I could just jump back in when Alibaba will break once again above this 170 very important level. Okay, so basically jumping back in at a very near the same price where I sold everything. Then obviously this is connected with the main reason. So why? Well, first of all, the timing was great in my opinion, but the main reason obviously why I sold, because obviously if you are long-term bullish on that, now it's time to buy, okay, not to sell. But why I did that? And the reason is pretty simple, as I'm gonna show you here basically. Now, during the 2020-2021 craziness, actually there have been very great stocks that I just bought and never sold, like Facebook, Square, Tesla, all that kind of stuff. But then there are stocks that I bought and sold. Now, for example, Delta Airlines, I bought the shares the 24th of March, actually during the craziness of the pandemic, around $26.5. I sold them at 46.7 1 year later. Now here I have been a complete moron because I forgot. It's not that I forgot. I was confident that 1 year was already passed, and indeed I missed the 1 year deadline by basically 13 days. Okay, so that falls into the short-term gain tax. Now, Fiat Chrysler here, as you know, I am Italian, so I bought Fiat actually during the March crash because I knew that the company was not gonna go bankrupt. I know how it works with this company in Italy, and then there were also a huge merge with the French PSA manufacturers. Okay, so I know it was gonna come. The market was just going crazy about it, and so bought around 742, sold and 1536 actually as the merge happened. Okay, after that I didn't want to continue to hold. I don't know the new company, what they were gonna do, all that kind of stuff. For me that was enough. It was a bounce back bet back then. But once again, this one, as you can see, it's blue over there, actually is in the short-term gain as well, okay, is less than 1 year time holding. JP Morgan, this one falls into the long-term holdings because it is more than 1 year. Bought at 91.5 back in May 2020, sold the 15th of June 2021 and 155.6. Uber 1 year holding plus as well, bought the 26th of March during the craziness of the pandemic 2020 around $26.3, sold at 44. And then here, one of the best short-term plays ever, which by the way falls into the short-term gains. So this is the main reason why I'm selling Alibaba JD right now, is Lemonade. Lemonade bought basically at 49.7, $50, and then sold actually 3 months later, 115, almost 116. Okay, so more than 2x on that in just 3 months. Obviously, it's short-term gains. So when you see this situation, clearly you understand why selling a 21.2% loss on Alibaba and an 8.3% loss on JD, short-term losses, because those are positions which are less than 12 months. It's something that makes sense to offset some gains from Lemonade. Those two positions, as I told you many times in my videos, the China position were less than 10%. Actually, right now, those were around 8%, so a 4% and a 4%. Those two positions actually are able to make me save something in taxes. I did that, as I told you, because the timing, actually with Alibaba breaking that 170 very important level, was something that, in my opinion, for this particular situation was a win-win. To take a loss on Baba, take a smaller loss on JD, offset some of those gains. Now, does it mean that I'm never gonna buy back? Obviously, as I told you, the long-term view has not changed. So I will be back in those Chinese holdings. Now, when? Tomorrow? 1 week? 2 weeks, 1 month, I don't know. As of now, the situation clearly is not easy. Now, in my opinion, we are exaggerating. We are exaggerating simply because I never seen just an amount of fear, an amount of hate in a certain market. Okay, this reminds me something similar to obviously I was too young for that, so I don't actually remember in terms of, because I haven't lived that moment, but I read lots of stuff. And the tech bubble, it reminds me back in the 2000s, actually going down, and no one wanted tech stocks anymore for another couple of years, even though they were brilliant. No one wanted them, as well as with the bank stocks after the 2008 financial crisis. So I think that we are reaching that amount of hate. Wherever article you're seeing basically is saying that everyone is selling, George Soros is selling, Cathy Wood is selling, Bank of America is selling, all of them are selling. Some hedge funds are saying that Chinese stocks are uninvestable right now. Now, overall, there is an amount of pessimism, there is an amount of fear and hate, which at the moment, in my opinion, I think it is peaking. I don't know how long can it go, no one knows. But in terms of the sentiment, the mix is pretty simple. You have the government that it looks like that they have been sleeping for like 10 years, and right now they want to do all the regulations and all the new rules all together, like in 1 year. Okay, so obviously the market is going crazy about it. Then there is the slowdown in the economy, as we have seen, risks of new Delta variants and stuff like that all around the world. So obviously in China as well, we know how strict they are with lockdowns. There is a mix, an explosive mix that is making a disaster in the market. Obviously all the newspapers, especially Western newspapers, are going down very strong with this Chinese mess. Okay, so you will never read something positive. Okay, everyone is selling, everyone is saying that it is trash, everyone is saying that all the Chinese stocks are going to zero. Now, that in my opinion creates an opportunity. And as I always told you, I remain long-term bullish, especially on the retail commerce side in China. I do not want to invest in anything else because it is too complicated. I don't know what's going on in terms of rules, for example, with companies like Baidu and things like that. I have no clue. But for the retail market, the retail e-commerce, all that kind of stuff, in my opinion, nowadays we close our eyes and think about 10 years time, those stocks are gonna be way higher than how they are today. So obviously, I'm looking forward to jump back in. I'm just gonna wait right now to see how this old mess is gonna hopefully calm in the next couple of months. I don't know. Let's take a look. The stock cannot go down forever. But there is actually one thing to say. And the one thing to say is that with this mess, I think that as of now, the confidence of investors into Chinese stocks has been wiped out. That's something that we have to say, and that's something that it both creates opportunity, but it also creates a timeline, which in my opinion, it will take longer than expected for those companies to come back to their fair prices. In terms of businesses, guys, of both Alibaba and JD, I wrote also the post after earnings. Fundamentals are not changing. In my opinion, if Alibaba follows the government rules, the new rules, the business doesn't change. The business continues to grow. I see the stock at above 300 without any problem. Now, the sentiment and the confidence of investors, however, is something that takes time to regain. Now has been destroyed. In my opinion, as I always said, it will be a long-term bet. A very long term. If you're not planning on holding or at least 5-10 years, it doesn't make sense to buy. But, for me, it makes sense to take a look at the market and wait for an opportunity to jump back in. So I explained you why I sold. It is momentarily. Obviously, this mess continues to create lower and lower prices. I will take a closer look and then I will let you know when I jump back in. So I hope you find the video interesting, guys, and leave me a like. Leave me down a comment below. Actually, tell me, what do you think? When will all of that stop? Will those companies get destroyed, or there will be a turning point somewhere in the future? Subscribe to the channel if you want, and as always, guys, have a wonderful day.